Hey boys and girls, and welcome to our next STEM lesson for the term. I hope you all had a good time and completed our activity in last week's lesson and are ready to continue learning. So last week I told you all about the fact that we were going to be looking at classifying living and non-living things last week, and in this week we're going to continue to focus on our living things and the needs of our living things. So last week I asked you all to draw me a picture of your favourite animal, and down the side you were going to list 3 things that your favourite animal needed to survive. And we're going to expand on these ideas today. So for this lesson it's really important that you have a pencil and a piece of paper with you, and if you need and you want to complete the activities during the video, just make sure you're popping me on pause when you're doing an activity, and then you can resume and play the video to continue with the lesson afterwards. So we're having to think again about the needs of living things. And as I said, last week we focused on 3 needs of our favourite animal. However, today we're going to think about the needs of all living creatures and what those things have in common. So on one side of your piece of paper, I'd like you to do a little bit of a brainstorm now and think about what needs do all living creatures have? What sort of things do we have in common that helps us be able to live and be able to survive? I can think of a few basic things in my head already, and hopefully you've got those things. So you can go ahead and write them down now, or you can write them down at the completion of the lesson, but that'll be your very first activity for today. Your second activity is going to come from one of those needs, and hopefully you've already all thought of it anyway, and that is food. Every living creature needs food one way or another. Whether it's plants getting food from sunlight or from nutrients in the soil, whether it's you getting your food, hopefully some healthy fruit and vegetables over the holidays, and whether it's our pets eating the food we provide to them as well, or wild animals hunting for their own food. Every living creature needs some sort of food to give them energy in order to be active and survive. Now, even though animals find their food in different ways, they still all need it. And we know that our animals in captivity, such as animals that are in the zoo, still need to be fed. However, it's not quite as easy as feeding them as it is to feed your dog. I couldn't just go to my local zoo and walk into the tiger cage and put down a bowl of biscuits. Otherwise, I might end up looking like my plastic skeleton here. So we need to be creative in situations like that to work out safe ways to feed animals in captivity. And that's what we're going to have a think about this week, and we are going to focus a lot on tigers. Your goal this week is to essentially design your new invention, and you're going to design something that could be used to safely feed a tiger in captivity. Maybe it's a system where something can go through the fence, maybe it's a system where something needs to go under the fence into the cage, or maybe you've designed something that's tall enough to reach over the fence to give the tiger its food. So on that piece of paper you had earlier, on the other side, opposite side to your brainstorm, you are going to begin drawing your design. Once you've drawn your design, you need to add some labels to it in order to remind yourself and to share with me what each of the parts are. Okay, it's important so that when you come back to that design next week, you know what you were doing and it doesn't just look like scribbles to you on a page. Once you've finished your design, you're also going to write a list down the side of the page of some recycled materials that you could find around the house to help build that. That might be using cardboard rolls from paper towel, that might be using empty cereal boxes or empty milk cartons. You might also know that you need to find some sticky tape and a pair of scissors around the house, making sure you're using those things in a safe way if you are. Okay, you need to have an idea of what things you need to collect, because in our next lesson next week, we're actually going to build a prototype or a little fake model of our feeder. So throughout the next week, between now and next week's lesson, you might need to think about collecting those things, and maybe you need to remind mum and dad or big brother or big sister or whoever takes the bins out not to throw everything out, because you are going to need those things for next week. Okay, those are your activities for today. Alright, I want you to have a think about how you're going to feed your tiger at the zoo. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you all back at school when we're back in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait to see the amazing inventions that you've come up with to find a solution to that problem of feeding the tiger at the zoo. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.